What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about what I think is really our big, constitutional crisis. Okay. Um, and, we've talked about this before early on, just within the idea of, things that Trump was doing and, or potentially could do or whatever, and whether or not, it would be going against the Constitution and there'd be a constitutional crisis or whatever, when the Constitution was erased from the website and it took forever for them to actually put, you know, to some degree put it back up. It's not even like full on up. It's kind of like broke into sections, like the idea of the Constitution. Anyways, but like a summary sort of. But um, but no, I'm gonna talk about what I feel like, and this is something that happened, a few weeks ago. And I apologize that I'm just now getting to it, but I had to think about this for a second and uh, how I wanted to approach it. Um, so anyway, thank you for joining me here on the channel. Everything that you need to connect to is there on the screen, so you know what to do. So do the damn thing, and let's get to it. So, what do I feel is the big constitutional crisis that we are potentially looking at here? In uh, recent events and whatnot. Um, to cut it short and simple, to the point, the fact that it appears that Donald Trump himself just doesn't know the Constitution. Simple as that. That in itself, I feel like, is an actual constitutional crisis. Um, because the problem with that being that any kind of act that he does or people in within his administration do, and the question of whether or not it actually falls within the into in the Constitution, in being, you know, uh, legal in that aspect. Uh, Trump himself cannot reasonably uh, diagnose that himself and try to avert or change the situation, because he clearly does not know the Constitution at all. He clearly appears to have not actually read it, doesn't know it. And he stated as much basically in an interview a couple weeks ago. And that, to me, is a problem, because see, every time, every president that comes into office, even Trump himself, okay, when they're sworn in, what are they sworn in on? Or what are they sworn to do? They were sworn to uphold the Constitution. That's one of the main things that is they're supposed to do, to uphold and defend the Constitution. And every president does this. But what's the point in swearing to it and and holding an oath to actually uphold it and defend it if you don't even know what it says? It means you can't make any kind of judgment call on anything that you know, throw out there as an idea or an opinion or a policy or whatever, or anything in your anybody in your administration does, policy wise, or tries to take action on. You can't justly look at that act or that policy or whatever declaration or whatever, and be like, you know what, that actually might not be within the Constitution, which I've actually, swore an oath to uphold. So, maybe we need to rethink that one and try to come back to it in a more, legal stance, more, try to hold within the Constitution. Trump can't do that. He can't do that if he doesn't know the Constitution. And when he is like blatantly asked, you know, if a particular act or something that the administration has done or something that they are not doing, going against a judge's, you know, request or whatever the case or anything like that, if it falls outside of the Constitution, if even attempting to go for a third term, just that something as simple as that, and the only answer that we get out of Trump, or the biggest answer that we get out of Trump, is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We have to look into that. I have my lawyers have to look into that and to see whether or not it's what? What do you mean that you don't know if you are within your constitutional right when it's something that's blatantly stated in the Constitution that you can't do, or you can do? You do not know, and that is the problem. That is the problem. That Trump honestly does not know what our Constitution states, what he can and can't do as the executive, as the, most powerful man in the world, arguably, if that's what you think the president of the United States is. And that's the reason why he thinks that, and not only does it seem that I was going to go for somewhere, but then I thought it's something else. Not only is he, um, does he not know the Constitution, but it seems as if he thinks the Constitution is even like something that is just a guideline, and that, he can bend it, or, you know maneuver through it in a way that, um, almost like he can constitute it himself. Like he can change it, he can alter it, he can s- change what it says, or di- uh, uh, interpret it a different way, any way he wants to, and that's okay. Um, and that, we'll deal with anything, any legal battle after the fact. Just do what we want to do regardless, and then if it comes back, well, then we'll look at it and decide whether or not we agree or disagree. And that's even the biggest other issue, is that when the judges are coming back saying, actually, sir, this isn't something you actually aren't supposed to do. You can't do. It goes against the Constitution. It goes against our laws. Goes against our. So you need to, adjust, change, and give you a period of time to do so, whatnot. And him and his administration basically go, yeah, I don't think so. We don't agree with that. We think it actually should be okay for us to do. So therefore, we'll just keep doing it. And what are you going to do about it? And that's because not only does he not know the Constitution, but he does not concern himself with upholding it. He doesn't care to uphold it. He doesn't care about the oath that he made as the President of the United States to uphold the Constitution of the United States that was uh, constructed by our forefathers of the United States. And what we are, the Constitution that his so called party and followers swear that is the most important thing for and representative of our country. And while I agree that and understand that the Constitution is more like a live document that can be adjusted and altered over time, and that's the way it was created. That's what it was meant for, to be able to have. you know, changes made to it as the times changed and people changed their opinions or ideas or had better ideas, better direction, better, things that would help improve the country, improve the livelihoods of the people of the country, um, uh, and all these like I understand that, but the Constitution also put in place the procedures and processes in which to do those things as well. And it's not the process for the executive leader of to just unilaterally change something in the Constitution or reinterpret it and act on that reinterpretation without going through those legal processes. That's not it. But Trump and his goonies apparently feel that they can do whatever they want. This is a smash and break thing, plan, do things so fast that people can't keep up. The judges can't keep up. Nobody can keep up. And they just destroy and destroy and break and break and break. It's that CEO plan. It's the CEO idea, the idea of running a company and you can break it and everything, dismantle it, remove people, put whoever you want in place to, whatever the case. Like that's what they've been doing. And that's the reason why you hear commentators all over the place constantly going, yeah, that's not you can't do that. That's against the Constitution. Oh, yeah, that's against the Constitution. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's against the Constitution too. Oh, but wait, that you can't do that. That's because they are breaking the Constitution in every way, over and over and over again. And they're doing it as if they don't care, as if they don't know, or as if that was the plan all along. The president himself, and I'm those around him most certainly know the Constitution. They are blatantly going against it. But Trump himself seems to just flat out not know. He seems completely ignorant to what the Constitution says, and he is relying on these people around him, surrounding him, like Stephen Miller and all these others, to tell him the truth, to tell him what it says or how what they're trying to enact falls under the purview of the Constitution, and therefore it's legal, and therefore it's okay, and therefore we're going to win all these legal battles that these Marxist judges are trying to put against us. So don't worry, everything's cool, we're good. But that is the actual crisis, is that he clearly does not know whatsoever what the Constitution says. And either that or he does and he is complicit and playing dumb or just straight up lying for the, like, with his base in mind. And that's the only thing, other option there is there. And honestly, I don't know which one's worse. But when he constantly is sitting there saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, the man who claims on everything else that he knows so much about it, and nobody knows it better than me, all this kind of shit. When it comes to any kind of question about the Constitution, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to look at it. I don't know. I'll get my lawyer. I have to ask my lawyers and see what because apparently the lawyers make the rules. Apparently the lawyers make the Constitution. Wrote the Constitution or whatever. His lawyers. I mean, so clearly if they said that it's go good, then hey, we're good. Thumbs up. Don't worry about it. No big deal. This is a problem. This is the problem. And this is the reason and how and why they will continue to break things and continue to do what they are attempting to do, all in the guise of the guide of um, stuff behind like Project 2025 and all this stuff. Like these groups and people who have their intentions, whether it's you know uh, rooting out immigrants, whether it's international, conflicts or something, or Christian nationalism or whatever, like these different groups and sects of the Republican Party or the MAGA cult that have their intentions, and they're basically using Trump as a means to an end, just like he is doing a means to an end using them and you. So again, as I'll present the question for you supporters. Why? Why support a man who clearly does not know what he swore an oath to? Does not know the founding base documents, laws, rights, and rules of our country, and how our um, branches are supposed to coincide and work together, to keep and prevent too much power, too much, you know, uh, of a stronghold in one or the other, or anything else. Like, why do you continue supporting this man when he clearly is either completely ignorant to how our country has ran and the rules and like the basis of our fundamental outline for why our country has been as successful as it has been? He clearly does not know it, or he's blatantly going against it and going along with all the rest of his people in administration who are blatantly trying to go against it. Why do you continue to support him? Why do we keep giving him the benefit of a doubt? Why do we keep defending him? Why do we keep pretending like, okay, well, it's not his fault? If they are doing something and he doesn't know, I mean, that's not his fault. He has all the good intentions of, but does he? And even so, even if that's your argument, ignorance is not a it's not an excuse for terrible things happening and allowing it. Like once you learn that it's against the Constitution or it's wrong and it shouldn't have been done, ideally you would just completely 180 and change it. But that's not what Trump does. He continues to seem to either pretend to be ignorant or he goes along with it because he thinks, as usual, rules don't apply to him and he can do what he wants. Damn the Constitution. So why do you keep defending? Why do you keep holding on to what this guy does and says? I'd like you to let me know. Tell me in the comments. Do you think this is a problem? Do you think the President of the United States, the Commander in Chief, the potentially most powerful man in the world, hands on the biggest nuclear arsenal and best army military in the world, you know, who can is in control of our, the world's, default currency and everything else, like our economy, the world economy, like, do you think that man should be okay to run our country not knowing the founding documents of said country, not understanding them, not even seemingly having some sort of like even like basic understanding? Why do you think that person should actually continue being able to run our country? Or is he actually a means to your end? No pun intended. Let me know in the comments what you think. And until next time, it's been Clear Talk. Peace.